Hello, everybody. So, unlike many people here, I guess I won't be speaking about gender, even though gender used to be part of the title of this talk, but I'm going to speak about socioeconomic background and why it matters. So, I'm going to start with this boy. Does anybody know who this is or who this might be? No, that's good. Okay, so this boy was born in 1944 in West Germany. So he's a normal German guy, and at first sight you might say he's not extremely disadvantaged, but his father died during the Second World War, and he was raised by his single mother, who used to be a cleaning lady. So he was extremely disadvantaged, but still he managed to become one of the most influential and powerful and famous Germans of current times. So by the end of the talk, obviously, I will let you know who this is. So why was he disadvantaged? Let's look at some challenges that children, kids, and young people who come from families with little education, little money have in Germany. So the chance of this boy to get a university degree was as low as 15%, because obviously his mom didn't have A-levels, or Abitur, as we call in Germany. If you are a child or a teenager and are disadvantaged because your parents don't have money and lack education, your chances of being in bad health are 6 times higher, which is obviously a huge number. Also, you are less likely to be invited for a job interview. So you're probably asking, how can this be measured? And there was an extremely interesting study in Paris. The researchers sent out CVs to the same employers, and the only difference on the CVs was the zip code. And what they found out was that the CVs with zip codes from rich areas of Paris got many more invitations to job interviews than CVs with zip codes from poor areas of Paris. And I would like to stress these were the same CVs. Also, obviously, people from underprivileged backgrounds lack certain information. This information is just on how to study, how to do vocational training, what jobs are really in demand, how you can get a scholarship, how to be successful, how to build your network. So there are so many things they just lack when it comes to information. And obviously, because they don't have a network, because they cannot ask their parents, who probably weren't extremely successful themselves, because they cannot ask the friends of their parents, they lack the network whom they can ask for an advice. And also they lack self-confidence. If you grew up like I used to grow up, my parents have been unemployed for the past 20 years. I came home from school, I used to see them watching TV every day, basically. Obviously, I didn't believe I could achieve much. And also I wasn't told at school I could achieve much. So at first, when I used to be a teenager, I didn't really believe in myself. And then if you grow up like that, it's extremely, extremely difficult to really believe that you could study, that you could get a good job, and that you could really unfold your potential and really use your strength. So in Germany, we have 2 million kids who live with parents who are unemployed. So these are kids that are severely disadvantaged, and we don't really try to provide them with the same opportunities. And these are just 2 million kids whose parents are unemployed. Obviously, we also have many more children whose parents are just poor or have little education. So this number is actually much higher. And now you might ask, does it matter? I mean, obviously, some people who have a social heart might be saying, well, it's unfair if certain people have better opportunities than others. But some other people might say, well, it's just luck. You were unlucky enough to be born into a family of unemployed people, but you're still more lucky than some poor kid in India. And they're probably right as well, but I want to give you 2 reasons why I believe that this actually should matter to all of us, just for our own sake. Number 1 is shortage of labor. We hear it everywhere. We lack doctors, we lack engineers, we lack IT professionals. Basically, there is a shortage of labor in every possible field. And still, even though we don't have enough qualified labor, we still allow 6% of our pupils in Germany to finish school without a degree, so basically not really to finish it. And we still allow millions and millions of such kids to maybe finish school, to maybe get an education, but still not to be able to fulfill their potential. And number 2 is social cohesion. We also hear here, especially in Europe, but also in the US and other countries, that people are voting far-right parties, that people are no longer believing in the political system, in democracy. And there are definitely many, many reasons for that. But I believe one of these reasons, is also that they just don't believe that their kids one day will have a chance to have a better life than they do themselves. And also young people who just don't see any opportunity for themselves and who thus vote radically. And if we really want to stick the society together, I believe one of the solutions would be to really fight for equal opportunities for everybody. So, most interesting part of this talk is probably what to do. I think number 1 is we should definitely recognize that there is a problem. To be very honest, I was extremely happy when Janina asked me to come here and to speak about social background as a diversity factor. Because normally when I see diversity conferences, it's normally about gender, sometimes it's about the ethnicity. It's hardly really about the socioeconomic background. So don't get me wrong, I do believe that women still don't have the same opportunities as men. I do also believe that people with a migrational background, like me, also don't have the same opportunities than, let's say, German people in Germany. But still, to be very honest, I also believe that a young German boy from somewhere in Marzahn who grows up in a family of unemployed probably has even worse opportunities than a young lady with a migrational background who grows up in a middle-class family. So I think number 1 is we should recognize there is a huge problem when it comes to opportunities of people, kids from poor, disadvantaged backgrounds. Number 2 is we should spread the word. So from now on, I very much hope you will also let other people know that there definitely is this problem. And also we should raise our voice. Obviously, you can do it publicly, like me, trying to persuade others that this definitely is a problem and we should definitely fight for young people from underprivileged backgrounds to have better opportunities and a better life. But obviously what you can also do is to vote. I see most of you do go to elections, do vote when we have Bundestagswahlen, elections to the federal parliament, European elections. And obviously there are some parties that really try to enhance equal opportunities for children and young people from poor households and others that are not. And especially when it comes to what can be done politically, this is definitely making sure that every kid, every child, every teenager gets individual support. Obviously, you need lots of money for that because you need many more teachers in nursing schools, in elementary schools. You need coaches, you need mentors. So you need so many people, really lots of labor that really goes to every single child, speaks to this child, tells them they can achieve much, and really tries to help them to evolve their strength. Yeah, and then obviously you can also help yourself. I think the easiest way is what I basically just said. I'm sure every person that is present here knows somebody who comes from a disadvantaged background. Just go to them, let them know they can achieve much, let them know they should believe in themselves. I really, truly believe much of many of people who don't achieve much in life don't achieve that because they just don't believe in themselves. I truly believe everybody has talents and are really able to achieve extremely much. Obviously, you can also donate to organizations that support young people, kids from poor backgrounds, and you can also volunteer. You can volunteer for our organization, Netzwerk Chancen. You can also volunteer for many others. If you're interested, just go to betterplace.org. There are extremely many opportunities to volunteer time or donate. And if you're a company, because we're speaking about entrepreneurs here, I would strongly encourage you to really give jobs, give opportunities to people who are unlike you, who may have extremely uneven backgrounds, uneven CVs, who may speak differently from you, who may behave themselves differently. Often, if you come from an underprivileged background, if you had a really difficult life, you might seem maybe strange to others, and obviously, because most of our top managers, most of our executives come from very wealthy backgrounds, or at least middle class. It's very normal for us humans to like to have people who are like us around us. And this is also one of the factors why people from underprivileged backgrounds are not really able to get into high positions in academia or in the entrepreneurial, the corporate sector. So if all of us just try to pay more attention to give people who are unlike us more opportunities, I believe our world would definitely be a better place. Yeah, so let's get back to this boy. I will, in a couple of minutes, tell you who this is. So like I said, he succeeded. He at first did a vocational training, just a very normal vocational job. Then he went to school after his job, so at night hours, in night school, he managed to obtain A-levels to study to become a lawyer. And this is basically what he said a couple of years ago when he was interviewed. He said, "I'm always wanted to climb up the social ladder. This has to do with my past. Where I come from, we used to be regarded antisocial because of our poverty." So he used to be extremely resilient. He really managed to fight, but can really expect all of our kids who come from underprivileged backgrounds to fight every single day for their future. I believe we shouldn't allow this to happen. I believe that we should proactively help these kids. So this guy is Gerhard Schröder, our former chancellor. And no matter what you think about his politics, I know he's extremely controversial. I think that the way he definitely climbed up the social ladder is definitely something extremely special. But still, I believe every single child, if they come from a poor family, if they come from a family with little education, deserve a chance to become successful in life. And this is basically up to all of us to help them. Thank you.